came to our camp when she was 7 years old, several years ago. She would have been 13 by now, but she passed away when she was 12. She just kind of walked into her life. SadieBug was the definition of the term bald is beautiful. The cancer had taken all of her hair, and in walks a 7-year-old little girl. Just a beautiful smile, beautiful face, beautiful personality, and she kind of lit up the room. And so the first thing I thought was, so this is where the term bald is beautiful comes from. And she has, through the years, just been a steady part of our organization and a wonderful camper. And we really are going to miss her, and it's going to be tough to be at camp next year without her there. Camp Discovery is a pediatric oncology camp based out of San Antonio, Texas, held in Kerrville, Texas, and it serves children from Central and South Texas, and sometimes from points beyond. The Murata family is a military family. Dad had to go back and get deployed again to keep insurance to make sure that Sadie got her treatments, and then when he returned, he was transferred to the Pentagon and stationed there. And so the Murata family had to leave San Antonio, which has been their home for many, many years. They moved up here to Virginia, and she still wanted to come to Camp Discovery, even though there was a lot of travel time. We offered her other camps, other nice, great camps around the area, but she wanted to be home at Camp Discovery. Her motto was, "I'm good." You ask her, even though you knew she was in pain, she was always saying, "I'm good. I'm gonna be all right." She had an acceptance of what was happening, and more than the adults did, and we just got caught off guard a lot of times by the things that she would say and the way she would react to her illness. But she lived life to its fullest, and she lived the camp experience beyond what we could offer her. She just loved camp immensely, and she longed for the day she could return. My last conversation with Sadie was saying goodbye at drop-off from camp, and she knew what was happening, and we all kind of knew what was happening. We just didn't want to admit it, and she was more ready to admit it than we were. And I said, she came to me, she goes, "You know this is it, right?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not ready to go down that road." She goes, "Come on, man up. You know, you got to accept this." And I'm going, "Well, I'm not ready to go down. There's going to be trials, and there's going to be other things that you can go through." And she's like, "Joey, I just wanted to say thank you." And that was the last conversation I had with her.
I didn't know he was going to be here. I'm so glad to see you.
I was trying to get her to come, but she didn't get off work.
It's, you know, like we would always tell people what camp meant to Sadie, and I mean, you know, people, they have their kids go to camp, they kind of think they understand what summer camp is, but it's not the same, you know, and it's like, you know, when Sadie was basically told she was going to die, one of her first questions was, "Can I still go to camp?"
Yeah.
If she didn't want it so much, I wouldn't have let her.
Right.
Yeah.
And she could tell she was, I'm not going to phrase that. I was told she was in pain, but I couldn't tell she was in pain when she was there. She was kind of like nothing.
She was dancing.
Yeah.
That video of her dancing is... Oh.
That picture.
That's a good picture.
That picture is... You know what? All she was saying was thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's what she was saying. And if that's not a show, a face of gratitude, I don't know what it is.
Yep, I mean, just to think that she only had 2 months left, and that she was still...
Well, that's what she told me before she left. When I was talking to her before she left, she was like, "You know, this is it." I'm going, "I'm not ready to go down that road." You know, I'm not, she goes, "Come on, man up. Just realize this. You know, I just want you to know, thank you." And I said, "Well, Sadie, you might be okay." She said, "Man up, Joey." Because we gave each other a hard time all weekend long. From the day she got off the bus, the moment she got off the bus, Sadie, from what I understand, went up to Emily and said, "Hey, I used to have hair just like yours, none. Ha 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 ha." And so they became best buddies at camp. I don't know how, I know if they're the best buddies in life,
I mean,
But-
so they never saw each other
Right,
when
except
they
at camp.
weren't at camp, because even shortly thereafter we moved here, and they didn't really even communicate,
Okay.
you know, that much, but they still considered each other their best friend. It was like no time had passed when they got together.
Right.
When I spent some time with Emily and Sadie after camp this past year, we went out to lunch, you know, and that's the first time in so long that I saw my kid like completely acting like a normal kid.
Right.
And it was so cool
Yeah.
to like hear her just talk about normal kid stuff and smile and laugh and okay, so I didn't know Joey was coming.
Yeah.
I didn't think you well, I know you didn't know Joey was coming, but usually you're like, I don't know, did somebody tell me and I just didn't remember.
Hey, how's it going? All right.
KOA care camps. It's a big organization. It's KOA care camps. And care camps is their official fundraiser for children with cancer. And they've been part of us for several years now. COCA is the organization that we're involved with. And COCA, the Children's Oncology Campaign Association International, the conference that we were in Baltimore for. We tried to get y'all to come up. I was busy. But they kind of partnered up with COCA to help, you know, raise money for oncology camps. Every camp from across the country and then from Canada and wherever else comes in internationally sends quilt squares, and I take the quilt squares and I separate them out. In fact, Lindsay Davis' daughter helped us separate those out for the last time, and we separate them out so that every camp is represented on every quilt. And if we have enough, then we'll put, you know, if we don't have enough, we'll put 2 quilt squares per camp or whatever. And so they would go for a couple $1,000s. And so this year, you know, I didn't have any part of the pattern. Jennifer and I didn't have any part of the pattern. We took all the squares up, dropped them off. I also dropped them off, and we just told Mama Moss, who used to be the camp cook at Discovery, and said, just, you know, come up with something cool. Just come up with something creative. And she says, okay. And so while the quilts were being made is when Sadie passed away. And so we went up to get the quilts to take them to the conference, a couple weeks before the conference, and the first one was opened up. It was just, you know, horseback riding and canoeing and things like that. And then opened the second one up, and I was just taken aback. I was at a loss for words. I got pretty emotional, and then Jennifer started crying, and Mom was going, do you not like it? What's going on here? And I said, so did you talk to anybody about this? And she goes, no. I said, did you hear about Sadie Murata? She goes, no, what happened? I told her. And she then she had no idea what was going on. And then she became emotional. So I want to present this quote to you guys because now I'll tell you the rest of the story afterwards. When we opened it up, she put it over and I said, oh, cool, look, SadieBug's on there. And the more I opened it up, the worse it got for me. So, the more I opened it up, see, I saw this ladybug here, right? And I thought, man, that's kind of cool. How'd she know? But then this came across. So you can see that it's like everywhere. And it's like, where'd you, because she goes, I thought it was a cute pattern. And I was like, okay.
She had no idea, huh?
She had no clue.
Wow.
She had no clue. So these are squares from every camp that participated from around the country. And I can tell you most of them were from. I think Sadie and Emily worked on that one.
Which one?
This one here. That's what Emily said. Somebody from this group has agreed to match whatever the other quilt goes for and pay for it for whatever the match is. So if the one sells for $2,000, they'll pay $2,000 for this quilt. And they want Camp Discovery to have it. And so she goes, well, what do we give it to the Marauders? I said, that's what I'm thinking.
So Sadie passed away just before she turned 13, and so we went ahead and we decided, well, we're gonna go camping. That's something we haven't been able to do in a long, long time.
And honestly, for her birthday, I didn't want to be in our house. I didn't want to be around other people.
Yeah.
I thought being out in nature, being closer to God and closer to Sadie,
It was good. It was good.
it was beautiful.
It was pretty chilly, and so
It was a cold night.
you know, we set up the tent, and then all of us slept in the tent, and then the tent was a 3-season tent, so it had netting on the very top. And in the morning, we woke up, and Jen and I are laying next to each other, and I look up, and the sun is just starting to come up, so I can start seeing shapes and things like that. And I see these little dots on the mesh at the very, very top. And I'm looking, and again, it's cold. There's no insects or anything out. There hasn't been any insects out. And so I stand up and I turn on the light and I look, and sure enough, there's ladybugs all over the top of it.
3 of them.
Yeah. And so I woke her up, let her know, and
I bawled.
there were definitely tears on everybody's part. But so we definitely know she's around all the time.
You see my daughter's post about the same one that she, ladybugs crawled on her arm during
Yes.
tests or something.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know. Yes,
Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty cool how many of those stories we've been told.
We want to present the quilt to you and just hope that you get a lot of joy and value from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were surprised when we see the little video clips and stuff like that because, I mean, she was having such a good time.
Oh, yeah.
I know she was in pain.
See, I didn't realize how much. I knew she was because you told me,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize how much until one of the doctors was going, man, she's just, Dr. Falcone, she's just a trooper. You don't understand how bad she is and how much pain she's going through, but, you know, her your thing of I'm good.
Yeah.
I told that on the way up in the Uber car. You know,
Yep.
I'm good. Is that was her.
That was her.
Didn't hear her complain about anything. And, I mean, not once since I've known her has she complained about anything.
Is there like an average number of kids that y'all lose every year,
Bad years are 7, 8. You know, this year will be, it's 3 so far. It's kind of heavy with Emily Crane. You know, same kind of thing. People were afraid of Emily Crane because she had no hair.
That's good.
So yes, sir. He goes, next time you have something like that, let me know. I was like, dude, you're gonna get a fried right on this private jet. The COCA members, the couple people got together, and Don Golden thought it would be a good idea if we presented the quilt in person. And we talked about having you just come up and deliver it by yourself and film the process, or having somebody from Virginia or from Baltimore come in and do it because they're close. But Don thought it would be best if I could deliver it, and I said I'd be willing to deliver it myself. And so we're making a one-day trip to come out here and give a personal touch to delivering this quilt.
And the family has no idea that you.
But the family has no idea at this point in time that I'm here. They think you're coming by yourself, which isn't bad.
No.
But that's
No,
just
it's going to be a great surprise. It's going to be awesome.
And this year was kind of special for us because we had 2 quilts made, and unbeknownst to me, one of the quilts that was made had ladybugs all throughout it, the quilt. And that's special because we lost a camper a couple months ago, and her ladybug was her emblem, and her parents called her SadieBug. And so the quilt was presented to the KOA care camps at our conference, and somebody from Coca, or somebody's from Coca, decided they wanted to donate it back and give it to Camp Discovery. I decided, at my wife's prompting, because she reminded me pretty quickly, that we really had no use for it, because to be hanging in my office wouldn't get as much publicity or airtime, and we don't have a camp of our own to hang it at. And so we decided that we wanted to give it to the family, and we're going to present the SadieBug quilt to the family today. It's just the way it is. But instead of mailing that to you.
I love those girls. Okay, I'm gonna have to get my tissues so that I can actually see. We have so many great counselors. Some really awesome people at this camp.
So when you ever wonder why you're doing what you're doing, look at that picture, because that little girl says it all. When Sadie walked into our lives, the definition of bald is beautiful was that. Well, the next year, another little girl walked in, and it was the same thing. This is a beautiful little kid, and she's completely bald. And Sadie at the time had grown all her hair back, or most of her hair back.
She had a cute little pixie.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't growing full, but it was bare, more than bald. More than a crew cut looking thing. And Emily was not sure of herself at all. She was not confident. And I looked at the application beforehand, and Mom was saying that she can't make friends, and she's so antisocial, and she's doing all these things. And that's not the kid I saw at camp. And
and she just really didn't do that.
So when the two connected, Sadie was no longer bald. Emily was. Emily
Yes.
was really afraid of her cancer, and Sadie was like trying to encourage her. And then the roles just kind of reversed.
And then, yep.
So the
Couple
back and
years
forth,
later, yeah.
back and forth, it was just kind of. I think there was only 1 year when they both had hair, you know. So, but
Well, and it was interesting because they had the same cancer.
I was like, yeah, that is right.
Yeah,
I forgot
and
about that.
so, I mean, I think it just gave them an even deeper
Yeah.
connection because it's not, you know, as pediatric cancers go, it's not quite as common. So I think it's gave them even more to connect on.